Hello YouTube, got a quick one for you today. We're doing caveman overclocking on my R5 1600 in the hopes of getting 4 GHz out of it. Quick history lesson if you didn't know, this was from the Summit Ridge and Midrange from 2017, so the first time for CPUs and using a 14nm node. The 1600 in particular was the third last yield of this generation, overall boosting only up to 3.7 GHz and only beating the 12 and 1400 in this aspect, whilst getting a worse extended frequency range than the likes of the 1300X. And on top of all of that, these chips don't OC for shit above 3.8, and there is very little to be gained above that anyways. So as we're about to get into it, Lord have mercy on this CPU. Today we're running Cinebench R23 because 26R24 just refused to launch. On top of the in-house 900MB Windows 11, 26200.7705, as in Windows 11 that idles at 900MB DRAM with bare bones scheduling. Stock, the CPU gets a multi-core score of 6200 with a single core score of 940. I also forgot to mention that it's mounted on a MSI B350M Bazooka motherboard. You can check out the performance difference from stock to 3925 MHz in the R6 Cores Enough in 2025 video, as we will continue from there. Also in that video the cooling solution is explained. Basically we're running the CPU deleted with 128 watt over meter Kelvin liquid metal TIM under a Thermaltake 90mm radiator with a two 120mm fan push-pull configuration. So at the 3925 MHz checkpoint we are running plus 0.1875 volt as an offset and 1.1125 volt SoC voltage, and that gets us 7588 multi-core score and 1019 single core score. This also results in a 107 watt potential power draw and 56.5 degrees on average with 57.5 degrees max on the CPU as we moved to an ambiental temperature between 0 and 5 degrees Celsius. Here are both the runs. Sorry for the chopped image, I just didn't bother with graphics drivers for this one. From here we moved on to 3950 MHz with the same voltage, and that returned 7630 multi-core score, and we saw on average 54.5 degrees and 55.5 degrees maximum on the CPU, probably because the ambiental dropped a bit, and also a 119 watt spike for package power draw. Here is the run. After a few attempts, we also got 4 GHz working with plus 0.25 volt offset and the max SoC voltage the motherboard allowed of 1.3 volt. This was probably more than it needed, referring to SoC, but after it didn't work with the 1.1125, I just maxed it out and called it a day. The funny thing with 1.3 volt SoC is that sometimes the USBs wouldn't work, and since I don't have ES/2 peripherals, I had to restart each time until they decided to work. Anyways, 4 GHz got a 7726 multi-core score and 1042 single core score with temperatures of 55 degrees Celsius average and 55.5 degrees max, and a power draw spike of 121 watts. That is close to double the CPU stock TDP, so safe to say the CPU was never designed to run anywhere near these specs. These are the runs. Unfortunately, 40-25 MHz would not be stable under any voltage configuration, so I can safely say that we achieved this particular CPU's limit at 4 GHz. So where does that leave us and what can we compare it to? The short of it is that we increased multi-core performance by 24.6% and single-core performance by 10.85% from stock, and this comfortably beats a stock 10400 or 5600U or 2600X in multi-core score, and is getting very close to a stock Core 5 120U. In terms of single-core score, we are beating a stock 6600K or 2400G while nearing the performance of a stock 10310U. And that's basically all I wanted to yap about in this video. Sorry there isn't more to it, but this chip just wouldn't budge above 4 GHz and already required house fire levels of voltage just to go above 3.8. So anyways, hope you enjoyed and thanks for watching.